Greetings from Christian News and Interviews. So I never imagined that I would be here talking about Kevin Samuels. I heard early this morning that he had passed away. And of course, I thought it was fake. I didn't believe it. But finally, his mother came out and she said that Kevin Samuels actually has passed away. Unfortunately and sadly, she found out about it via um, I'm not sure which part of social media. She didn't say. I don't know if it was YouTube or um, Instagram. I'm not really sure if it was Facebook, whatever. Unfortunately, she found out about her son's passing through social media. I just don't know which part of social media. I personally have mixed feelings about Kevin Samuels. Obviously, I'm not happy that he's dead. I know that many people are actually happy to hear that he's passed away. I think that's horrible. If he were Hitler, if he were Charles Manson, if he were a serial killer, absolutely I would be happy to see him dead. But this was simply a man who was very controversial. He had a lot to say about the Black community. He had a lot to say in terms of giving advice to Black women. And he had some things to say to Black men. And yes, he was controversial. I didn't agree with everything he said. I really rarely listened to him, but I certainly did not wish death on this man. And I'm not happy that he's dead. For those of you who have never heard of Kevin Samuels and you don't know what all the fuss is about, I'm going to share with you the clip that really made him famous. It's a young woman who is wondering why she's not getting quote unquote high value men. Multimillionaires. She's wondering why, multimillionaire men are not chasing after her. She's wondering why high society type men are not going for her. And Kevin Samuels is trying to tell her why, but she's not trying to hear it. She is a person who has a baby or a young child. And I'm just going to play a small clip.
They tend to get average men.
So,
Did you, I mean, stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average. So,
But you're, ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
say what? I really just wanted some advice. I love your show.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The
I'm,
advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in, but
Did you hear that? This is the clip that made him take off in terms of fame. This average looking at best line, where he told this woman who's, for whatever reason, she thinks she needs a millionaire, but he's telling her it won't be happening. And the reason is you're average looking at best.
In with average looking women off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average. So,
But you're, ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
say what? really just wanted some advice. I love your stuff.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The
I'm
advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
There you have it. And so Kevin Samuels passed away yesterday. Today is Friday, May the 6th, 2022. He passed away on Thursday, May the 5th, 2022. I'm going to tell you why I was not a fan. I'm going to tell you a few things I liked about him and a few things that I didn't like about him. But regardless of whether or not I liked him, I didn't want death on this man. And God knows I'm not happy that he's dead. What I loved about Kevin Samuels, he was brutally honest. And I actually like that. He wasn't trying to be socially accepted. He didn't curve and bend what he had to say based on whether or not he hurt somebody's feelings. You just heard him tell that woman she was average at best, right? People can't handle that type of straightforward, shoot from the hip conversation. I actually liked that about him. I liked that he would just tell it straight. Let me give you an example of him telling it straight. From time to time, a woman would call him, and it was usually a Black woman, would call him. And she would say to him, well, they would get into a conversation. And for those of you who don't know, he was an image consultant by trade. Okay. So a woman would call him, they would get into a conversation about why it is that she doesn't have a man. Usually the conversation was around why she doesn't have a man, or why she doesn't have a husband, or why she doesn't have a date. So he would ask a series of questions. One of his questions would be, okay, well, what's your height? And the woman might say, oh, 5'2". Well, as you all know, 5'2" for a woman is considered short. I think women are average height at about 5'4", something like that. But 5'2" is kind of short for a woman, okay? So she might say 5'2". And then his next question, as an image consultant, his next question would be, what's your dress size? And the woman would stop and think about it. And then she would say, 14, 16. Well, he's an image consultant, so he knows that if you're 5'2", your dress size should be about a 2, 4, 6. He knows that. But the woman is saying she's a size 14, 16. So right now he has an image in his head of what she looks like. He knows this is an obese woman. She's overweight, stocky, and a lot of men, especially quote unquote high value men, are not going to be attracted to an obese woman. I remember on at least 2 occasions, women called, and they may have been 5'5", 5'6". And he would say to them, okay, how much do you weigh? 225 or 195, something like that. And he would say, Miss, are you not aware that you're bigger than a linebacker? He would then tell her the average size of a linebacker in terms of weight. He would tell her the average weight of a linebacker. And he would say, now you're 5'5", you're telling me you weigh 225, you are bigger than the average linebacker. Well, to be honest with you, I really liked for him to tell women that. And the reason I was happy that he would tell women that was because her best friend's not going to tell her. Her mother may or may not tell her. Her friends aren't going to tell her. Her coworkers won't tell her. There are women who are morbidly obese and nobody will tell them. Maybe their doctor will. So he would tell them. My only gripe with him was when he would get ugly and say things like a woman would talk back to him and then he would start acting like a pimp talking to a prostitute. And he would say things like, B, he would curse. B, I know you're not talking to me. You shut up. You sit your ass down. That was why I stopped listening to him. It was like he started to feel, oh, I'm getting famous now. People know me now. I'm up to 100 subscribers now. And he started to talk real ugly to women. To be honest with the woman is one thing, but to start talking ugly to a woman, cursing at a woman, telling the woman she needs to sit her A down, and calling women. And then when I really stopped listening to him, he referred to a woman as a fat pig. Come on, sir. Is that necessary? Anyone who's tried to lose weight ever knows that losing weight is not an easy task. It is when you're young, but the older you get, the more difficult it is to lose weight. So those women, I'm sure, felt bad enough. They didn't need him making them feel worse. So when he died, many women clapped, many women applauded, many women were happy because of how nasty he talked to some women. And the more famous he became, the richer he became, the nastier he became towards women. He died with a prostitute, or with, let me back up, oops. He died with a woman who says that she had just met him and she spent the night with him. I'm not going to call her a prostitute because maybe they just met and maybe they were just playing checkers. Who knows? She says that he fell on top of her. He told her his heart was hurting and he fell on top of her. Let me tell you what I think happened. Kevin Samuels was famous for drinking his energy drinks. People would say to him, man, you got to stop drinking all those energy drinks. Those things are not good for your heart. It's a well-known fact. I'm actually surprised that they're still on the market. I have a nephew who ended up in the emergency room. My nephew is in his early 30s. He ended up in the emergency room because he kept drinking those energy drinks, and those things are pure caffeine. Mr. Samuels is almost 60 years old. And although to look at his picture, he was slim, he was trim, nice flat abdomen, looked healthy, he wouldn't leave those energy drinks alone. Now, I'm not going to say that that's what caused his issue, but it certainly didn't help. Not knowing what, there's no autopsy yet, probably. But I'm going to guess that it was those energy drinks that people kept telling him, leave those things alone. And from what I read somewhere or heard somewhere, he was drinking so many energy drinks that an energy drink company actually started to support his channel. What he should have done for his own health was poured out the drink, put some water in it, and no one would have been any the wiser. I wouldn't have known that he was drinking water instead of the energy drink. But he was hard-headed. And people kept telling him, you need to leave those energy drinks alone. And if he wanted to endorse energy drinks, fine. Pour the drink out and put water in there. No one will know. In any event, rest in peace, Mr. Samuels. My condolences to his mother, his daughters, his loved ones. Stay tuned.